And she says, no, this is St. Patrick's Day. Now, this coming from a lady who on Thanksgiving said, this is the love of my life. I said, this is St. Patrick's Day, you're going to get me killed. Because in Ireland, if you wear orange in Ireland on St. Patrick's Day, you're taking your life. Huh?
You're not in Ireland.
They take it rather hostilely over here, too. But anyway, so I'm checking to see Al's the only one with green on, so I'm watching to make sure he's not throwing rocks.
Wait a minute, you didn't look up here.
Oh, well, okay, there's another Irish thing. Huh? Well, I can't see that far. Yeah, but it's still ugly. Huh? Yeah, but that doesn't make any difference over there. They're very hostile.
But what do they do if you wear orange?
What do they do if you wear orange and they stone you? No, the truth is, friends of mine, his mom and dad lived in England, and their people lived in Ireland. And in the olden days, why they were so bitter about each other that the orange, what they called the Orangemen, or the Protestants, would put orange banners and wear orange shirts around their homes, on the fences or whatever, or would walk down the street, and the Catholics, who were very devout Irishmen, if they saw that, in other words, if this house here, and you're walking toward it, you go across the street and walk on the other side. Or if you see somebody coming with an orange shirt on, you turn and walk some other way. Just kind of a silly thing, but you know how that's what happens when you get caught up in traditions and these kinds of things, which I'm not saying is bad. Traditions are wonderful. But when you get to the point where they frighten you or whatever it is, you don't need to do it. And that's kind of what I was going to talk about this morning. I got one of my usual brain blips in the shower this morning, and all kinds of information came in that I didn't know what I was going to do with, and I still don't. But the message I put out on your bullet was honor or worship. Now, to honor one, as you know, in the Bible and also in the Ten Commandments, it says honor your father and your mother. Nowhere does it say worship your mother and your father. So I got to thinking, well, if honor your mother and your father, or honor anyone in your life, simply means to respect them, to do your best to help those people, to just see them for what they are. See them as good people, see what they do well that you can emulate. To worship is kind of, to me, moves over into the spiritual realm. Honor is more or less in the material realm. Worship something means I want to be exactly like that person, or what their consciousness is. Not like what the physical body does, but what the consciousness is. We worship God because a lot of people worship a lot of other things. Rather, they honor God and worship those people around us. You know, a lot of people worship ball players, they worship different players, they worship movie stars. Our mind is so taken up with what they're doing, we really forget to look at the world around us and understand that this is nothing. You know, do you realize how much time and ink and airtime has been wasted on Britney Spears? I have nothing personal against the girl, but it's as though people can't wait to hear something else about her. Or parents who are willing to pay $5,000 for a ticket to see Miley Cyrus. And you ask them, well, why do you do this? Oh, well, my kids just can't get along without seeing a person. That's worship, folks. When you get to that point, that you're willing to spend more time and more energy and more financial wealth on seeing a person, you're worshiping the material world. You're worshiping the material. If we would spend that much time in working on our inner being, the kingdom within, as Jesus had said, heaven is not there. Heaven is within. The kingdom of heaven is within. The book is very filled with the kingdom of heaven is within. If we spent as much time on our own inner being, learning about ourselves, trying to emulate what we have read in the Bible, whatever Bible it may be, that God is all love, all abundance, all health, all happiness. These are attributes that are given, or God gave us. These are the attributes. This is what God said. You live this way. Now, we're subject to mistakes. There's no doubt about that. We're human beings. But we get caught up in this material world we live in. And that's our world. And we can control that world only one way. It's by living out of the spiritual world. See, if you're having a bad day, you're only having a bad day because you believe you're having a bad day, right? Well, this guy did that. No. Nobody did anything to anybody. You looked at what some person did to you, and you made a decision. Now, it can affect you positively, or it can affect you negatively. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. As I've told you before, if a doctor tells you you have something, a bad cold, you have a flu that has never been, they don't have a shot for, don't get mad at the doctor. Don't get mad at the doctor. You have to say, okay, I have this, whatever it is. Agree to that. Now what am I going to do about it? So I'm going to go out and live life to the best of my ability. Now you may be in bed and you may be trotting back and forth to the restroom. You do that, but if you do that, do it with a sense of hey, I can get through this. This is no big deal. This is just a blip in a road of life. What do I learn from it? What can I gain from it? See, our problem is we want to blame, not gain. So everything that happens in our life, we don't take the time to say, okay, I've got it. What am I going to do with it? Yeah, I told you, I'm sure, many times about a guy who was in a ministerial school, was one of my teachers, that had cancer. And he was really upset about having cancer. He says to the old thing, you know, what everybody says is, why me? I'm a good person. Why did I get cancer? And his brother, he calls his brother and tells him, his brother says, why not you? You think you're any different than anybody else? Well, he was really upset then. He wouldn't even talk to his brother. So he was home, getting chemo, whatever was necessary. And there was a cat. And he hates cats. But it's a cat set on a fence. Or like a little thing, you know. He lived on a hill and he walked down. He had to mail. He worked for a hospital.